essences. My humble obeisances to all the devotees who have assembled here today. I was asked by the devotees here, Mahesh Prabhu and the other coordinators of the event, to speak on the necessity for purifying one's heart and the potency of the holy name of Krishna in purifying that heart. Right? Did I get it right? Yes. Somebody's confirmed here. Why should we purify our hearts? Purification is required when there is contamination. When something is dirty, you have to clean it. And something is unshabby, very shabby, not very presentable, you have to make it presentable. You have to make it look better. When the room is not very clean, you have to clean it. So, on the spiritual plane, the cleansing process is bhakti. On the material plane, if the room is dirty, a broom and a mop are the instruments with which you can clean the room. When the body becomes dirty, you are playing so long in the playground, you have become a little dirty, then you have to clean your body by water, soap, shampoo, etc., etc. So, the physical dirt is visible. And with visible instruments, we need to clean that physical dirt. Right? It could be broom, mop, soap, shampoo, water. But the heart also has a lot of dirt, contamination. That's invisible dirt. How to clean that invisible dirt? That's the topic for today. Long ago, when I was maybe the days of this boy, I'm a little older than him. When I was in 4th standard, I was playing so much. Holiday, Sunday, no school. So I was playing in front of our home. Whole day I was playing and it became very dirty. Hair became disheveled. Clothes became dirty. I was perspiring. I was stinking, literally. So my mother came out of the home and called me, come here. I understood why she called me. Right? She was a bit serious also, angry also. So I went in front of my mother and said, yeah, what? Why are you disturbing my serious game? He said, you look so dirty. Are you not ashamed? Take a bath immediately. She was a bit serious. I said, I don't have time to take bath now. I must go and play. But my mother said, you have to take bath. You look very, very unpresentable. It's become very humble. Okay. So I said, no, I'm busy with playing. I cannot take bath. Then, just to inspire me to take bath, she started comparing myself with my friends. Children, sometimes your mothers or fathers will compare you with other kids, right? All the time. So they get good marks, why don't you get good marks? They get good grades, why don't you get good grades? That's typical nature of parents. When you become parents also, you will do the same thing, I know that. Right? Now kids may have complained against their parents that my parents are comparing me with other kids. When the kids become parents also, they do the same thing. At least to some degree. Anyways, she said that, see, your other friends, your playmates, they are very clean, they are presentable, they just took a bath, they look fresh, but you don't look fresh. Are you not ashamed? Actually, I was ashamed. They were actually looking presentable and I was a little shabby, quite shabby. So I realized it. Then I agreed with my mother. Yes, I'm not very clean, but I have an idea. I can look fresh without taking bath. I said, how? She said, how? give me that powder, Pond's powder. I'll put on my face. After becoming brahmachari, I didn't put till now, but in those days we used to keep some powder on the face. So I'll apply powder, I look fresh. Then I'll go and play. She became even more angry. She said, if you put powder on your face, you will look fresh, but you are not fresh. You are deceiving people, you are cheating people. Although people may think that you look fresh from a distance, when they come closer to you, you stink. Because you are actually shabby. Right? So better take a bath. It's a very important lesson that I have learned. Many times we present ourselves very happy, clean, pure-hearted, having good intentions, being very nice with people, etc., etc., etc. We are dignified, we are very happy. Externally, we want to show ourselves like that, but internally we hold on to the contamination. The contamination is not necessarily some dirt and perspiration. This is very insignificant contamination. But there is a more significant contamination in the heart in the form of envy, pride, arrogance, ego, lust, unable to tolerate someone else's success, material ambition. So much of dirt is there in the heart. So all of you are Telugu people, right? You know at least the names of Arishad Vargas. What are they? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So these are the real contamination in the heart. So this contamination in the heart must be cleansed. So we may keep our homes clean, we may keep our clothes clean, we may even keep our faces clean by washing the face, but how many are endeavoring to keep their hearts clean? Keeping the hearts clean means having pure motivations, having good intentions, not desiring harm for anybody, not trying to throw dirt on anyone, not physical dirt, but sometimes we may consciously or unconsciously blame others, assassinate others' character, and try to pull them down, bring them down, although they are glorious in some ways, but we present them in such a way that they are not very good. So this is all because of the innate envy within the heart. And we want to present ourselves better. All this is contamination. And if we discuss only about the contamination in the heart in the form of lust, envy, pride, greed, so next 3-4 hours will go. Or maybe it's not sufficient also. Sometimes we have very poor material ambitions. Even when somebody is in the temple, in front of the deities, with the devotees, the mind may be thinking of something which may not be devotional, which may not be spiritual. Does it happen sometimes? It happens with me. I mean, let me be honest with all of you. So, impure thoughts, unnecessary thoughts, distraction, a mood of exploiting others, cheating others, beating others, looting others. We may not be thinking about all this very grossly. Yes, I have to harm these people, but unconsciously, we just do it sometimes. If not physically, we may even try to hurt people through our words by exhibiting anger or envy or trying to dominate them, oppress them, suppress them, outsmart them, or not giving them the opportunities that they deserve. Right? In various ways, there is a lot of contamination in the heart. Or we may not harm anybody. We may not plot against anybody. At least within the heart, we may have some kind of unnecessary desires. And the desires may be invoked just by seeing a YouTube video. Or just by seeing a billboard on the poster, on the road. Because world is filled with so much Maya. Oftentimes there is so much Maya around us, world is filled with so much Maya. When we get exposed to that Maya, already there is a lot of contamination inside, more contamination will come in, so unnecessary desires. So what is the way of purifying this contamination in the heart in the form of material ambitions, envy, pride, greed, anger, illusion, confusion, bewilderment? There's a beautiful shloka in the scriptures. I think many of you must be knowing this. How to convert impure things into pure things. How to make inauspicious things into auspicious things. Repeat after me. Om apavitraha pavitro va sarvavasthangato va yah smaret pundarikaksham sabahyabhyantarah suchihi. How many of you know this shloka? Oh, many. Om apavitraha pavitro va. Whatever is apavitra or impure will become pure, will become pavitra. Sarvavasthangato va. In all circumstances, at any time, at any place, in any situation, anything impure can become pure. Anything inauspicious can become auspicious. By what? Yah smaret pundarikaksham. Right? When you do smaran of pundarikaksham. Pundarikaksham means the lotus-eyed Lord, Krishna, Vishnu, Balaji, Venkateshwara. So in any of this, the Lord manifests in so many forms. If you remember the Lord, yah smaret, doing smaran, if you just remember the Lord, he'll become purified. He'll become completely purified. Internally and externally, he'll be clean. Right? So anything impure can become pure, anything inauspicious can become auspicious. Right? I think all of you must be knowing this important statement from the scriptures. Asatoma sadgamaya, tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritangamaya. Asatoma sadgamaya means from asat you come to sat. From dishonesty come to honesty. From lie you come to truth. From temporary you come to permanent. From perishable you come to eternal. That is asatoma sadgamaya. Asat means the world around us is asat. Not that it is false, it is temporary in nature. Sadgamaya. So many times we are caught up in so many false relationships, false bonds. So come from that stage to a pure stage. Right? Asatoma sadgamaya. Tamasoma jyotirgamaya. Don't remain in the darkness of ignorance. And the lights are not there, sun is not there, moon is not there, Amavasya in the middle of the night, everything is dark. But that darkness is not so dangerous. That darkness is not that dangerous. But the real darkness is darkness of the heart. What is darkness of heart? Ignorance. Ajnana. That's why we began our class by saying, Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnana Janashalakaya. Ajnana Timirandhasya means people in this world are caught up in ajnana, lot of ignorance. What is ignorance? Ignorance of their own spiritual identities. When you ask any typical person, who are you? They will say, I'm a student, I'm a teacher, I'm a doctor, I'm an actor, I'm a photographer, or I'm a director, or I'm a cook, I'm an employee of a company, I'm a CEO, I'm an engineer. So many such designations are there. But how long can you be an engineer? How long can you work as a doctor? After some time you have to become patient. Right? How long you are a student? After some time you can become a teacher also. How long can you be CEO? You have to retire one day. So all these identities or designations are temporary. They have a beginning, they have an end. Isn't it? But what is that permanent designation? We are all servants of Krishna. Jivera swarupahai Krishnera nityadas. Every single living entity is a servant of Krishna. That's the permanent designation we all have. Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, Mamaiva amsho jiva loke jiva bhutat sanatanaha. Every living entity is my amsha. Many of us are meeting for first time. Some devotees I have seen before. I can recognize the faces. But some devotees, some people I am seeing for the first time. Although we are meeting for the first time, we have a relationship already. By default, all of us are connected to each other. Because we are a child of Krishna, I am a child of Krishna. We are all children of Krishna, we are all the members of the same spiritual family. My home, we say, right? Wherever you see in the streets, you see my home, my home. So when we think it is my home, but you have to leave the home one day. Our home is there. Our home, not just my home, our home. That is spiritual world. We can go there after leaving this material world. For a devotee, death is not leaving home. Death is not leaving relatives. Death is not leaving family members. For a devotee, death means reuniting with the original family members, entering one's original home, real home. Our real home is in the spiritual world. Vaikuntha is our real home. You may give your care of address. You may write your address in Aadhaar card. My home apartment, block 1, block 2, whatever, A, B, C, D, 4th floor, 10th floor. But that is a temporary address, right? You may think it's permanent address, but that permanency is there. How long? 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, one lifetime, 100 years. But one day we have to leave, right? After leaving, where is the home? So we need to understand that we have an eternal home in the spiritual world. He's our eternal father, Krishna. Aham bija pradah pitaha, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So that Pita, that Supreme Lord is our mother, is our father, is our Guru. So, how to purify these contaminated hearts? By following the process of Bhakti Yoga, or the path of Krishna consciousness, that takes us to the eternal home, that takes us from Asat to Sat. Asatoma Sadgamaya, Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, means from this dark material world to the spiritual world. This material world is dark. The Lord arranges sun and moon to illuminate this material world. Without sun, without moon, without electricity, without fire, there is no natural effulgence here, in anything, right? And sun is not there, moon is not there, electricity is not there, fire is not there. Can you see anything? Even though you don't have sight, still you cannot see anything. But in the spiritual world, there is no sun, there is no moon. Na tad bhasayate suryo na shashanko na pavakaha yad gatva na nivartante tad dhama paramam mama. So the spiritual world, Goloka Vrindavan, or Vaikuntha, is never illuminated by sun, moon, electricity, fire. Self-effulgent. Krishna's body is dark, but it emanates effulgence. Right? They are self-effulgent abodes, planets. So we need to go there. So the process of removing contamination is Bhakti Yoga. And if you go through this contamination removal process of Bhakti Yoga, you will go from Asat to Sat, Tamas to Jyoti, Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amritangamaya. This place is filled with Mriti. Everybody who takes birth has to die one day. But is there a place where there is no death, there is no birth, there is no old age, there is no disease? Why I have to cover my old age, and when wrinkles are coming on my face, I have to just put one inch thick makeup to cover the wrinkles. When white hair is coming, I have to put thick black paint to cover that white hair, right? To present oneself as young. Is there a world or a place or a body that never becomes old, that never becomes diseased, which is never subjected to death or birth? Yes, that is spiritual world. In spiritual world there is no Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi. Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, Dukha, Dosha, Anudarshanam. So birth, death, old age, disease are there in this world. They are causes of miseries. Let's consider them as causes of miseries and try to go there, to the spiritual world. That is the contamination removal process. Right? So now let's focus our discussion. I spoke very in a very broad sense from material world to spiritual world. Let's bring our discussion, narrow down our discussion to something very specific. Now, when you say contamination, the contamination is in multiple forms. Lust, envy, pride, greed, all this are contamination. But how these anarthas, how these lust, envy, pride, greed, kama, krodha, lobha, moha affect us, all of us know to some degree, all of us have experienced also. When I host envy in my heart, how much it troubles me, we know. We have some experience. When I host some pride in my heart, how much it troubles me and people around us, we know to some degree at least. There is at least within the available time, let's not spend so much time on that. Let's focus on the solution. Problem, all of you are convinced, right?
Yes.
Are you convinced that Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha are problems in life?
Yes.
Right? You don't need to be convinced, right? Now let's talk about solutions. Now let's talk about Kama and Krodha to begin with. And Lobha. Because Krishna talks about all three in one shloka. What is that? Trividham narakasyedam dvaram nashanamatmanah kamah krodhastatha lobhah tasmadetat trayam tyajet This Kamayesha Krodhesha is there, that speaks about 2, but this one speaks about 3. So Kamayesha Krodhesha Rajogana Samudbhavaha, this lust and anger. Kama is basically desire. And all desires are not bad. Some are good desires, some are bad desires. Some are unnecessary desires, some are required desires. Right? So, but when the desire crosses certain limits, when the desire is of the nature of destructive nature, then it causes so much of trouble. And generally, when our desires or material ambitions are not fulfilled, we get krodha. Krodha means anger. When kama is not fulfilled, we get krodha. And when the kama is fulfilled, we get lobha. We become more greedy. I want more, ani or. Right? So these 3 things will entangle us. These are like gateways to hell. Kama Trividham narakasyedam dvaram nashanam atmanah kama krodha tatha lobha tasmadeta trayam chedit. We have to give them up. Right? So the process of giving up is to convert this kama towards something beneficial. Everybody has a desire. Everybody wants to get something. But instead of endeavoring and desiring for material things, let's try to desire for spiritual things. Right? So desire to serve Krishna. Instead of desiring to serve yourself or sense gratification, gratify your own senses, desire to serve Krishna. Now, why I have to desire to serve Krishna? What is the logic behind it? You may think like that. The answer is, when a tree is lush green with flowers and fruits and leaves and branches and twigs, what is the secret of the tree being in such a healthy condition, very beautiful condition? Because the tree is nourished. And the tree gets nourished through roots. You need to pour water to the tree on the roots, not on the branches and leaves. When you put water on the leaves and twigs of the thing and the root does not get nourishment, tree will not be lush green anymore. So Krishna is the root of all existence. You want proof? Please recite this shloka. Aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvitah aham sarvasya prabhavo mattah sarvam pravartate. Everything emanated from me. Krishna is the source of all existence. And further Krishna also says, Mattah parataram nanyat kinchidasti dhananjaya mai sarvamidam protam sutre manigana iva. Krishna says, everything that you see in this entire universe is like these flowers. Right? He doesn't say exactly flowers, he says monies. Or pearls, jewels, right? But because garland is there, and necklace is not there with me, I'm using this this analogy. So there are so many flowers, maybe hundreds of flowers here, and some little birds also are there. So all these are connected to each other through a small thread. See, here it's visible. Most of the place it's not visible. Here little bit is visible, right? Without this thread, all these flowers cannot stay together like this. So when the thread is strong, then this entire garland stays like this. When the thread is weak, garland will be dismantled, will be disconnected, right? So there's a cut in the thread, there's a cut in the thread here, then garland cannot be like a garland, it's like loose flowers, right? Everything will be just disconnected from each other, right? Dislocated. Similarly, Krishna is the root of all existence. It is because of Krishna that the entire universe is existing. Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, I just recited 2 shlokas, I gave the proof. Right? Krishna is the root of entire existence. He is the source. He is the creator. He is the maintainer. If required, he becomes the destroyer also. Everything came from him. Everything goes into him. So, if you serve him, if you worship him, then everything will be clean and green. Right? When you serve Krishna, just like when you water the root, then naturally, entire tree will be very healthy. Similarly, when you worship Krishna, the entire universe will be healthy. Entire universe will be happy, right? That happiness that nourishment and the flourishing of the entire universe is dependent on how the Father of the universe, the Creator of the universe is happy. Therefore, worshipping Krishna is not like a sentiment or a waste of time or some kind of superstition. So it's like you are serving the Father of the entire existence to make the entire existence happy. So that is the process of purifying our heart from all the contamination. So we may have desires. Kama is there. We have desires. But direct the desires towards something spiritual, towards something beneficial. So when you divert your desire to enjoy to giving enjoyment to Krishna, you will automatically be happy. You go in front of the mirror and then start putting earrings to your reflection. Start putting powder and oil and all the face pack and all the moisturizer, everything on the mirror. You put all the necklaces and then decoration, damani, this and that. Put garland to the mirror. Will you become beautiful? So you are decorating the reflection. But if you put all that on yourself, then the reflection will automatically become beautiful. We are all reflections of Krishna. Right? When Krishna is beautified, when Krishna is ornamented, when Krishna is served, when Krishna is worshipped, we will automatically become happy. The process of becoming happy is to make Krishna happy. Right? Even if you don't make him happy, he will anyways be happy. He is Sachidananda Vigraha. But if you attempt to make him happy, that will give you happiness. But if you disconnect yourself from Krishna, you will remain happy, of course, but you will not be happy. And also, it will not make him also happy. Although he is happy by default, seeing your unhappiness, he will become unhappy. Because after all, you are his child. Because you are his child, when the child is not happy, the father will not be happy. So to make the father happy, and you be happy. Right? If you want to be happy, disconnected from the father's instructions, father's teachings, then you will not be happy, he will not be happy. Krishna said in the Bhagavad Gita, I am not saying anything on my own. Yaha shastra vidhi mutsrujya vartate kamakaratah nasasiddhim avapnoti nasukham na parangatim. All the instructions of Krishna are given in Shastras. There are so many rules and regulations and teachings in the Shastras. Yaha Shastra Vidhi Utsrujya. If you give up that Shastra Vidhis, if you give up all the teachings of the Shastras, Vartate Kamakartaha. You start behaving whimsically as per your desire, freestyle. Vartate Kamakartaha. Then what will happen? Nasasiddhimavapnoti nasukham naparangatim. You will not be successful in your endeavors. You will not get any sukha. It's not that Krishna is inducing some fear in us. You follow me. You have to follow my instructions. You have to follow the injunctions of Shastras. Then only you will be happy. It's not that Krishna is causing fear in us or threatening us. Krishna doesn't want forced worship. If I'm thirsty, if I ask you some water, if he gives me with love, I will accept it. If he throws the bottle on my face, I'm not very comfortable to accept it. Right? Similarly, Krishna also is not comfortable to accept forced service. He inspires us to serve him. He doesn't impose us. If we don't choose to serve him, he says, okay, fine, you do the way you want, at your own risk. Right? He doesn't interfere with your little independence or freedom. But he's saying that for our own benefit. When a father tells the child, please hold my hand, beta, don't go anywhere, don't leave me, I'll take care of you, I'll protect you, whatever you want, you ask me. If father says like that, it's like father is bossing over the child, father is threatening the child, father is causing fear in the child, father is removing the fear in the child. Whenever Krishna is expecting us to surrender to him, it's not that Krishna is a self-centered person or a tough boss or an insecure master who is very possessive of his servants and he is in need of some service or fan following. No, even if you don't like, share and subscribe for Krishna's channel, Krishna has so many fans. Krishna has unlimited devotees in the spiritual world who are serving him lovingly, eternally. So he doesn't need your likes or shares or comments. He doesn't need your subscription, but we need his subscription. Right? We need to subscribe to him. So actually we are subscribed to him, but because of Maya we got disconnected from that subscription, but we have to resubscribe. Right? So only when we connect with ourselves with Krishna, there is a possibility of being happy. And it's not a force. Krishna is not trying to force us. Krishna is just enlightening us. Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam sharanam vraja. The first statement seems very heavy. My God, sab chhod do. Leave everything else. And then mam ekam sharanam vraja, take my shelter only. It seems very self-centric statement. Very bossy statement. But Krishna's mood is not that. The next half of the shloka, read the full shloka, don't read the half. Sometimes we read half chapters and we'll come to a conclusion. And sometimes we read half the book, we'll come to a conclusion. Sometimes we'll read half the statement and come to a conclusion. But read the full shloka. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. After that, aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Ma shuchaha, don't worry. Krishna is saying, like a father gives assurance to his child, Krishna says, don't worry. Don't worry, I will take care of you. I will relieve you from all sinful reactions. You went to Kanchipuram anytime? Kanchipuram, close by. There is Varadara's deity. So he has a hand like this. What is written there? On his hand there is something written there. Anyone knows? Ma Shuchaha. Don't worry. The Lord says, don't worry, I will take care of you. He is Varadaraj. He is the giver of all benedictions, boons. So the Lord is assuring safety for us, assuring security for us, provided we connect with Him through Bhakti. Krishna also said in the 9th chapter, I spoke something from 18th chapter, let me speak something from 9th chapter. Krishna said that, you repeat after me. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye janaha paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. If you worship Krishna, if you always think of Krishna, your heart will be purified. Further, Krishna promised Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. Did you hear this statement, Yogakshemam Vahamyaham, anytime?
LIC.
LIC. The real life insurance policy. The real assurance. What is that called? Security, financial security. Bhima. Is not this LIC or what any other policy. It is the assurance that Krishna has given us. Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. What do you mean by Yogakshemam Vahamyaham? Let's have some interaction. Yes, what do you mean by Yogakshemam Vahamyaham? Anyone knows?
I take care of you.
I'll take care of you. Very good. Any other perspectives? Any other deeper meanings of Yogakshemam Vahamyaham?
మనం ఎటువంటి పరిస్థితిలో ఉన్నా ఆయన మనల్ని చూసుకొని ఆయన ద్వారా నుండి మనకేదో రకంగా హెల్ప్ చేస్తారు.
Okay, he'll help us. Very good. Any other perspectives? Yogakshemam Vahamyaham, kids? Yes, Prashasta? You have attended the class? Yogakshemam Vahamyaham, you remember? No, forgot. Others, adults?
Well-being. Kshema means well-being. Yoga means your connection with me. I will take care of.
Mataji knows the answer. She knows all commentaries. So, Yogakshemam Vahamyaham means, basic meaning is, I will supply whatever you lack and I will preserve whatever you have. So, Krishna provides the devotees if they are in need of something. He is the provider. And Krishna protects whatever we have. He is the protector. He is the protector, he is the provider. Right? So that's the basic meaning of Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. But a deeper meaning, as Mataji said, is yoga means our attempt to connect with Krishna. Yoga means linking our consciousness with Krishna. That is yoga. So Krishna will inspire us in that yoga also. Kshema means the protection that Krishna offers, the prosperity that Krishna gives, the reciprocation that Krishna gives to all of us. That is Kshema. So Krishna will inspire us to serve Him and connect with Him through Bhakti Yoga. And as a reciprocation, Krishna will protect us also. Right? That is Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. That much assurance Krishna is giving. It's not that Krishna is trying to boss over us by telling us exclusive surrender. Mam ekam sharanam braja. Don't go anywhere. I'm there. It's not that Krishna is threatening us or inducing fear in us. Krishna is just inspiring us to connect with him so that he can protect us nicely. Right? Just as a parent, hey, please be with me, don't go anywhere else. Telugu. How many are Telugu people here? Quite a few. So in our childhood, our grandmothers or grandparents, they would say, Bhucho dusted. Right? Even Yashoda Mata says. Yashoda Mata tells Krishna once, how beloved, how beloved. So Krishna and Balaram are playing at some place with other friends. Then Yashoda Mata says, how long you will play? Come back and take some food, take some meals, take some bath. You look so shabby, you look so dirty. But Krishna and Balaram are absorbed in their play. So just to create some fear in Krishna and Balaram, Yashoda Mata would come and say, there is a demon behind you. His name is Haubila. He has a very, very fierce form. And this demon is especially expert in catching kids and troubling them. So they are there. Then Krishna and Balaram said, there is no such demon. Don't cheat us. We'll play. Then Yashoda Mata, just to create a more dramatic scene, she says, hey, Bahubali has come here. It's right there, right next to you, behind you. And Krishna and Balaram become a little scared. They are scared to even look behind. Yashoda Mata seems very scared. She becomes very fearful seeing how beloved. It doesn't exist basically. But Yashoda Mata says, it's there. I think it may catch me also, not only kids. I'll run away. And Yashoda Mata just runs away into the home of Nanda Bhavan. And seeing Yashoda Mata, Krishna and Balaram also become fearful. They are too fearful to even look back. They also run behind Yashoda Mata. So sometimes it happens. So just as parents sometimes give a warning to the children, or caution to the children, or even scare them only for their protection. Similarly, Krishna also. Hey, if you do these sinful activities, you will go to hell. He's just saying all that. But Krishna is never inclined to send anybody to hell. Right? Even when Duryodhan is with his thigh broken, he is sitting, he is lying in a pool of blood. When Bhima defeated him with his Gada, Krishna is not at all happy to see that scene. Krishna is not at all happy to see Duryodhan in such a situation. I gave him so many chances, I gave him so many opportunities to rectify himself, and here is this person who misused his independence and he brought about his own degradation. Even when Krishna is obliged to punish or kill demons or demoniac people, he is not happy doing it. He is obliged to do it. Mother is not happy to punish a child or scold a child and see the tears in the eyes of the child. But because the child is misbehaving or not being disciplined, mother is obliged to discipline the child. That's why she is doing all that. Same thing with Krishna also. But Krishna's intention is yoga kshemam vahamyaham. He wants to inspire us to connect with him through bhakti yoga and kshema. He wants to reciprocate with that attempt by happily providing whatever we need, whatever we want, whatever is required for our advancement in bhakti. Right? Now, one of the most effective ways in which we can connect with Krishna and get his reciprocation and love and affection is chanting his names. People ask, you Hare Krishna people keep on chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You keep beating drums, mridanga and kartal and all that, you make a lot of sound. Where did Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita that you have to chant his names? Right in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said. There are 700 shlokas in Bhagavad Gita. In shloka number 351, Krishna said, Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantasya dhamvrataha namasyantasya mam bhaktya nityayukta upasate. The main line here in our current context is Satatam kirtayanto mam, you always chant my holy names. Kirti means glory, fame. Kirtana means to glorify. Nama Kirtana means to glorify Krishna's names. Guna Kirtana means to glorify Krishna's qualities. Leela Kirtana means to glorify Krishna's pastimes. Rupa Kirtana means to glorify Krishna's form. Of all this, Nama Kirtana or Nama Sankirtana is something which is very, very beneficial and very uplifting to the human society. especially in Kali Yuga. In the previous Yugas, people had so much capacity. In Kali Yuga, in Krita Yuga, Satya Yuga, people used to meditate for 10,000 years, 20,000 years, 60,000 years. They had that capacity. Now, who will live for 60,000 years here? 60 years is a big thing now. Anyone has a lifespan of 60,000 years here? Anyone can meditate for 60 minutes at least? You close your eyes and then doze off. You can do a meditation. That is their meditation. Or even if they don't sleep and they close their eyes for meditation and try to focus on the Lord's form, so many other forms come. Bollywood forms, Tollywood forms, Mollywood forms, Collywood forms, all the forms will manifest in the mind. So Krishna dhyana will go to some other dhyana. The Leela dhyana will go to movie dhyana. Nama dhyana will go to some other dhyana. So that is the quality of Kali Yuga people. In Krita Yuga, dhyana is the way to connect with God. Krite yad dhyayato vishnur tretayam yajato makhaihi dvapare paricharyayam kalau tadhari kirtanat. You know this shloka? In Krita Yuga, the process of self-realization or connecting with God is dhyana, meditating for thousands of years. Krite yad dhyayato vishnu. Meditate on Vishnu for hundreds and thousands of years. That is Krita Yuga's style of connecting with Lord. Tretayam yajato makhaihi. In Treta Yuga, people used to get self-realization by yajato makhaihi, doing so many yajnas, sacrifices. Dvapare paricharyayam. In Dvapara Yuga, they do paricharya of the Lord, means do so much service in the form of worshipping the deity. Right? That is another way of connecting with God in the previous Yuga. Kalau tad Hari Kirtanat. In Kali Yuga, the way of connecting with God is Hari Kirtana, by chanting the names of Lord Hari. Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Nama eva kevalam, Kalau nastyeva, nastyeva, nastyeva gatiranyatha. In this age of Kali, the only way to connect with the Lord is chanting the holy names of the Lord. You can worship the Lord, not an issue. You can read the scriptures. You can even do meditation if you have the capacity. But the most and the best way, the best and most effective way of connecting with the Lord, especially in this Kali Yuga, is chanting the holy names. Because as soon as you get up from the sleep, you say, Krishna, you can say that. But you can't just immediately go to the Garbhagriha and then give Aarti to the Lord as soon as you get up from sleep. Does it happen? When you are lying on the bed, you can say, Krishna, Govinda, Mukunda, Hare Krishna, you can say that. But while lying down, you can't just read Bhagavatam like this. Right? Or you can't give a pravachan. You can't give Bhagavad Katha while sleeping. I'm sitting and speaking. If I lie and sleep, then you will also sleep. Right? So there are some processes of bhakti which have to be done in a certain decorum. Right? Deity worship has to be done with clean clothes. You have to take bath, wear fresh clothes, not used clothes, and then enter the altar. While giving class, okay fine, morning I gave one class and I travelled 1.5 hours and I came here and I'm sitting here directly for the class. But if I have to go to deity worship, I have to take a bath fresh and then after taking bath, in 2 minutes you have to be in the altar. Now they take bath and in 2 hours you just roam around and then you enter the altar. That's contamination. Okay. So there are some protocols and policies and rules and regulations and prescriptions and prohibitions prescribed for deity worship, worshipping Saligram, giving Aarti to the Lord, cooking for the deities. In Andhra they call madi, right? So you have to be very clean for cooking for the deities. But chanting, no such protocols, no rules, no regulations. You can chant anytime. Anybody can chant, in any situation, at any place. Middle of the night, you have big headache, you're unable to sleep, or you're sleeping and the dogs are barking outside. The dogs are barking, then you are unable to get into sleep. So you just get up and then pick up your Bedikam and chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You can do that. But just because your sleep broke at 1 o'clock in the night, you can't enter the altar and then worship the deity. Hare Krishna. Right? Om Jai Jagadisha Hare. You can't do that. So there are timings, there are prescriptions, there are very strict rules. But chanting you can do anytime. You can do inside, you can do outside, you can chant at beats, you can chant off beats, you can chant while walking, you can chant while sleeping, you can chant before sleeping or after sleeping. You can chant in the middle of the night, you can chant in the middle of the day, you can chant in your hands, you can chant on your beats. No rules. And this chanting is the most effective way to connect with the Lord. I'll tell you another shloka. Namna makari bahudha nija sarva shakti tatrarpita niyamitaha smaranena kalaha. Namna makari bahudha nija sarva shakti means the holy name of Krishna has so much shakti, very powerful. Name of Krishna is as powerful as Krishna himself, person Krishna. Then there are no rules and regulations. It's accessible. Anytime you can chant. Third, holy name of Krishna is very merciful, as merciful as Krishna. Ajamil is there, a sinful person. He committed so many sinful activities. And once he was close to his death, and Yamadutas came. With three Yamadutas came because Ajamil committed sins with body, mind and words. 3 Yamadutas came with twisted faces to arrest him and take him to hell. But because he chanted Narayana to call his son's name is Narayana. Because he chanted Narayana, immediately 4 Vishnudutas came to protect Ajamil from these 3 Yamadutas. Even unconscious chanting also helps us. Apannaha samshritim ghoram yannama vivashogrinan tataha sadyo vimuchyeta yadvibheti swayam bhayam. So, to protect oneself from this ghora samsara, from the cycle of birth and death, we need to chant the holy names of Krishna. And if we chant the names of the Lord even in an unconscious state of mind, still the Lord is very merciful enough to reciprocate with you. Ajamil is the best example. Right? So, that is the power of holy name. But we are not very fortunate enough to have sufficient taste. But the whole process of Bhakti Yoga is to cultivate the taste to chant the names of the Lord. When you are chanting the name of the Lord, you are in the presence of the Lord. You can feel the presence of the Lord. And the whole process of chanting Krishna's name is very sweet. Madhura madhura metan mangalam mangalanam sakala nigamavalli satphalam chitsvarupam sakridapi parigitam shraddhaya helayava bhruguvara naramatram tarayet Krishna nama madhura madhura metan mangalam mangalanam. Of all the sweet things, name of Krishna is very sweet. You understand? Name of Krishna is sweet? You find it sweet? How sweet it is? Keep on chanting. Anybody, kids also can chant. Deity worship kids cannot do. Installed deities they cannot do, but small deities they can do at home. But there are some protocols, you need Brahman initiation, etc. to enter the altar. But anybody can relish the sweetness of holy name. Now, Dhruva, a 5-year-old child, he chanted Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya at the age of 5 for 6 months. Lord Vishnu came in front of him to bless him. If a small child, 5-year-old child in 6 months can get the darshan of the Lord by chanting one name of the Lord Vasudeva, why can't we get the darshan of the Lord by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra? But the point is, the determination that Dhruva had, the absorption that Dhruva had, we may not have. When we have the determination and absorption, we can also get Krishna's darshan. The Krishna is merciful enough to give that darshan, right? Madhura madhurametan mangalam mangalanam. Of all auspicious things, the most auspicious activity is to chant Krishna's names. Sakala nigamavalli satphalam chitsvarupam. So, all the scriptures in this world are ultimately recommending the process of chanting Krishna's names. You compare all the scriptures with a valli, with a nice creeper, and a ripened fruit of that creeper is Krishna's name. Sakridapi parigitam shraddhaya helayava. If you chant the name of Krishna even with shraddha or helana, shraddha means faith. Faithfully you chant the names of the Lord, or neglectfully you chant. You chant to indicate somebody or make some fun of somebody. Even that chanting also has some benefit to us. Krishna somehow feels that, at least to make fun of somebody, joke with somebody, he said my name, Krishna, Rama. Krishna shows some mercy. What to speak of eagerly, enthusiastically, lovingly chanting his names. Right? भृगुवरनरमात्रं तारयेत् कृष्णनाम कल्याणानां निधानं कलिमलमथनं पावनं पावनानां पाथेयं यन्मुमुक्षोः सपदि परपदप्राप्तये प्रोच्यमानम् विश्रामस्थानमेकं कविवरवचसां जीवनं सज्जनानां बीजं धर्मध्रुवस्य प्रभवतु भवतो भूतये कृष्णनाम कल्याणानां निधानम्. This holy name of Krishna is the abode of all auspiciousness. Kalyana means auspiciousness. Kalyananam nidhanam Kalimala mathanam pavanam pavananam. Kalimala mathanam means the holy name of Krishna can completely destroy the contamination of Kali. In Kali Yuga there's so much contamination. Kalir dosha nidhe rajan asti eko mahan gunaha. Kali Yuga is a dosha nidhi. It's a big treasure of faults. When you say nidhi, don't get excited. It is dosha nidhi. It's a treasure of faults. Oh, really? I don't want that treasure. Dosha nidhi, abode of faults. Kalir dosha nidhi rajan asti eko mahan gunaha. But there's one good quality in Kali Yuga. What is that? Kirtanadeva Krishnasya mukta sangha param raje. Just by seeking to this path of chanting the name of Krishna, mukta sangha param raje, we can definitely get mukti. We can easily get liberation. That is the potency of holy name. Kalyananam nidhanam kalimalamathanam pavanam pavananam. Pavanam pavananam. I was asked to speak on how to remove contamination, purification. Of all the purifying agents, holy name of Krishna is the most purifying thing. Pavanam pavananam. Pathe yan yan bubuksho sapadi parapada praptaye protyamanam. We are all travelers. Whether we realize it or not, we are all travelers. I'm not the only traveler. I travel from Mumbai to Hyderabad. You must consider me traveler. But you are also travelers. Where is our journey? We are making a big journey from the material world to spiritual world. From this Bhuloka to Vaikuntha or Goloka. That is our journey. So in this great journey, what will help us? In this great journey, what is the best guiding force? Actually, what takes us from this material world to spiritual world? Holy name of Krishna. Right? Pathe yan yan mubuksho sapadi parapada praptaye protyavanam. So when you're journeying, when you're going from one place to another place, nowadays you have flights and cars and buses, but in olden days people used to walk. Journey means walking through roads and forests and towns and villages and cities. They're just walking. So while they're walking, they have to take some rest somewhere. They'll find a tree, go and sit under the tree. That is their rest, right? That is called Vishramasthana. Vishramasthana-mekam kavivaravachasam jivanam sajjananam. So Vishramasthana-mekam means when you are traveling on the road by walk, you need some Vishramasthana. When you are tired, you need a resting place, and that resting place is the holy name of Krishna. And when you are traveling, you also carry some food, right? When you go to school, your parents will pack some lunch box for you. Similarly, when you are traveling from the material world to spiritual world, we carry the lunch box. What is there in the lunch box? Krishna's holy name, right? So, holy name of Krishna is the lunch packed by our universal mother, Srimati Radharani, for us in our journey to the spiritual world. I spoke 9.14, sloka number 351. What is that? Satata Kirtana. Before that, what is the sloka? No. Bolu. 9.13. Radharani sloka. Somebody said just now. Mahatmanastu mam partha devim pratimashritah bhajanti ananya manaso gnatva bhutadimavvyayam. Mahatmanastu mam partha. Who is a Mahatma?
Daivi Prakriti Mashrita, one who has taken shelter of Daivi Prakriti, Shrimati Radharani. Someone who has taken shelter of Radharani, Daivi Prakriti, is a Mahatma. And what does a Mahatma do? Satatam Kirtayantama. Because Radharani packs our lunch box. She is our universal mother, right? What is there in the lunch box? Krishna's name. Satatam Kirtayantama. Under the shelter of Shrimati Radharani, devotees chant the holy names of Krishna. Vishramasthanamekam kavivaravachasam jivanam sajjananam. Kavivaravachasam jivanam sajjananam. Even great kavis and philosophers and poets and acharyas and sages said that holy name of Krishna is the real jivan, real life of all sajjan, of all good people. For Durjan, jivan may be maya, jivan may be money, jivan may be something else. But for sajjan, jivan is holy name, right? So a miserly person will count how many dollars I have, how many pounds I have, how many rupees I have, how many diamonds I have, how much gold I have. But a devotee counts how many rounds I chanted, how many shlokas I have learned, how many books, how many spiritual books I have read, how much worship I have done to Krishna. So we should be spiritual misers. Keep on counting and increasing our money. Count. How many books I have distributed in December. So Jivanam Sajjananam. Bijam Dharma Dhruvasya. This holy name of Krishna is the bija, the seed of entire Dharma Dhruma, the seed of the tree of this Dharma. Basically, the greatest Dharma of every living entity is to surrender to Krishna. What is the proof? Bhagavatam says, Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktiradhokshaje ahaituki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. Right? So real dharma is to serve Krishna without any selfish desires, without any material motivations, without any breaks or interruptions. So that is the real dharma, to serve Krishna. And holy name of Krishna is the root of that dharma, is the seed of that dharma. Basically, you will be able to consistently and selflessly serve Krishna for a long time, for eternity, by chanting his names. Sevon mukhehi jihvado swayameva spuratyada. If you do seva beginning with your tongue, you can do all other sevas. So first, you engage your tongue in chanting Krishna's names. That's how you begin your bhakti yoga, right? So hear a little bit about holy name and you chant Krishna's names. This is what our scriptures are repeatedly teaching us. Please chant the holy name of Krishna. That will purify your heart completely from all this lust, envy, pride, greed, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, madamatsarya. Envy is gone, illusion is gone, confusion is gone. Because the more you chant the Lord's names, the more you are Krishna conscious, the more you invoke Krishna's presence in your life. And Krishna is most powerful personality. So when a most powerful personality is acting as your dear friend, you have no fear, right? So whenever a child has some problem, he will immediately remember mother or father, right? Amma, they say, right? As soon as they encounter some problem. Similarly, devotee says Krishna. So the more they chant names of the Lord, they're trying to connect with Krishna more, and they're invoking the presence of Krishna in their lives. And with that security provided by Krishna, Krishna's presence, they will be fearless in this world. The material world is filled with so many fears, but the sense of security that we get by chanting Krishna's names will dispel all those fears, right? Water bottle. Orange one. No. How much time? Okay. I'll take some questions also. Yep. So, the process of chanting the names of the Lord is the most effective process to connect with Krishna in Kali Yuga especially, because we don't have the ability to meditate for 60,000 years. We can't do elaborate deity worship. There are some physical constraints, and we also cannot do so many elaborate sacrifices. You may do all of them little bit, but chanting the names of Krishna is most effective and very simple process that anyone can do at any time. Even on the deathbed, one can chant and one can reach Krishna. To discuss little more about this mantra, Hare Krishna Mahamantra specifically, This Hare Krishna Mahamantra has Hare word 8 times and Krishna word 4 times, Rama word 4 times. Krishna, Rama are the holy names of the Supreme Lord. Hare is the name of the Lord's energy, Srimati Radharani. Right? So this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a combination of the names of Radha and Krishna. Radheti nama navasundara sidhu mugdham Krishneti nama madhuradbhuta gadha dugdham Sarvakshanam surabhiraga himena ramyam Kritva tadaiva pibame rasanekshudarte Radheti nama navasundara sidhu mugdham. When you are saying Hare, you are invoking the presence of Srimati Radharani. It is Radharani's name. So when you chant the name of Radha or Hare, it is like nourishing yourself with sweet nectar. Navasundara Sidhu Mugdham. Radha's name is like condensed nectar. What about Krishna's name? Krishneti Nama Madhura Adbhuta Gadha Dugdham. Dugdham means milk. Gadha Dugdham means condensed milk, rabdi. Madhuradbhuta Gadha Dugdham means most wonderful, sweet, condensed milk is Krishna's name. Radharani's name is nectar, Krishna's name is condensed milk. You combine this, it's like a kheer. If kheer is taken cold, it has better taste, right? So you need to add some ice to this kheer. What is that ice? Already it's kheer. The name, combination of Radha's name and Krishna's name is like kheer. You add some ice to it, make it cool. And that ice is your enthusiasm, your eagerness to chant. Sarvakshanam surabhiraga himena ramyam. Sarvakshanam surabhiraga himena ramyam means adding, your eagerness is like adding ice to this combination of Radha's name and Krishna's name. Kritva tadaiva pibame rasanekshudarte. If you are hungry, if you are thirsty, if you need some nourishment, you are feeling very weak spiritually, then drink this nectarian beverage of Radha's name and Krishna's name mixed with your ice of eagerness. Then your kshuda, your thirst and hunger will be satisfied. That is the potential of chanting Krishna's name. We are all hungry in this material world. We are all thirsty in this material world. The real hunger and thirst is lack of bhakti. Right? When there is no bhakti, when there is no eagerness to serve Krishna, that is the real hunger and real thirst. We may have so much food to eat. We may have so much food that we may become obese also. Right? Too much food may be there, but the real food is Krishna's name, Radha's name, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So when you eat this food, you'll feel spiritually nourished and spiritually connected with Krishna. Right? So never underestimate the power of chanting the names of Krishna, because it may seem very, very simple. In the previous yugas, people feel that just chanting Hare Krishna, this one mantra, simple mantra, will take you back to Godhead, take you to the spiritual world. We don't believe it. Because they have so much power, so much memory, so much intellectual capacity, so much sense control, so much mind control, so much of mental stability, that they can recite 10 kilometers long mantras. Then they can recite 10 pages long or 100 pages long mantras. They think that just chanting this one Hare Krishna Mahamantra is like below our dignity. Itna easy mantra de diya. We are PhD people and they are giving us LKG question paper. They think like that literally. Because they think they are overqualified, they don't take shelter of holy names of Krishna. When we say holy name of Krishna is very relevant and very practical and very relatable to Kali Yuga people, that does not mean holy name is not relevant in previous yugas. Holy name is relevant in every yuga. Even the people of previous yugas also, if they chant Hare Krishna, they will go back to Krishna, they will go to Vaikuntha. But why they don't do? Because they think that this is like too simple process. It's simple. Anybody can do it. I want little complicated process, little elaborate process. If you go to shop and then ask for some dress, and the shopkeeper will just pick out one and then give it to you. Okay, here is it. Achha. You feel that he is not showing me so many options. Unless he shows me 20 options or 30 options and I reject all 30 and then pick up one, I don't feel like shopping. I have not done shopping. Right? So they want I used to design also. I'm designing Bhagavatam tales now. Earlier I used to design some things also. People come to me with a request for a design. I just design it in 5 minutes and give them. It looks very decent. 5 minutes diya, Prabhu. You gave only 5 minutes. Means it's not the best design. People think that unless you spend 3 hours or 10 days, you have not given your best. Spending so much time and doing a very complicated process does not mean it is the best. Okay, sometimes you may mess up also by doing so much, right? So similarly, people in previous yugas think that unless the process is very complicated, very elaborate, very tough to do, the process is not effective. But holy chanting the holy names is very, very simple process. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You chant few times in a day, 16 rounds. Kitna time lagega? 2 hours. If you are fast, 1.5 hours. If you are slow, 2.5 hours. That's all. No, we have to do something more. Deep tapasya. Enter the water. Go under the water for 10,000 years. Chant Rudra Gita for 10,000 years. Go into a mountain cave. Or keep yourself in a circle of fire. Hiranyakashipu, you know what austerities he has done? 100 years austerities he has done, and these ants and termites have eaten up half of his body. When Brahma came to give him boons, he could not recognize Hiranyakashipu only. Kisko do boon? Whom should I give Vardhan? I can't see anybody. I can see a half skeleton there. Half-eaten human body, that rib cage is seen there. Then he understood, oh, he is Hiranyakashipu. Oh my God. He took some water from Kamandali and did like this. And he got his original body. Now you are Hiranyakashipu. Tell me, what do you want? You see, people want to perform intense austerities. Then they think they have done something. Or they want to do elaborate mantra chanting. 4 hours of yajna, 10 hours of yajna they have to do. Then only they feel we have done something. Kuch to worship hua. If you go to temple, unless they do some Ashtottara Sahasranam Puja and put some Chatagop and all this elaborate process, we think that he has not done puja only. Right? But the real blessing of the Lord you will get not by the elaborateness of the mantra, but the sincerity of your prayer and the sincerity of He transferring your prayer to the Lord or bringing that blessing to the Lord. If that pujari is a genuine well-wisher of you, then you will automatically get the blessing. Sometimes pujaris are there, they will chant mantras for half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, but they think of something else. They are doing many other things, right? Okay, some sukriti definitely will get, some blessing will get, but somehow the point I'm trying to highlight is the material mind thinks that if it is elaborate, it is effective. If it is complicated, it is effective. If it is detailed, it is effective. No, something simple also can be effective. Simple non-spicy khichdi also can fulfill your hunger. You don't need paneer fried rice or pizza or burger, etc. Right? Sometimes you may eat that, but if you overeat that, it may complicate your digestive system. Right? So those who are eating daily non-spicy khichdi have less health complications than those who are eating very elaborate food. Right? Many times it happens like that also. So don't think that this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra is too simplistic, too rudimentary, too preliminary. This is meant for really childish people, not very elevated transcendentalists. We have to do tapasya for 60,000 years. We have to do yajna for 10 hours. You have to chant mantras for 10-kilometer long mantras. So that's why people of previous yugas can't take shelter of Krishna. There's another reason, not only this. They consider chanting to be very simplistic. They also think that this material world is okay, good place. I don't mind staying here for a long time. It's no problem. Now Kali Yuga is polluted so much. Relationships are corrupted so much. People's transactions have become corrupted with so much of selfishness and exploitation. Atmosphere is polluted. So much pollution, atmosphere. Even the food is not pure. Interactions are not pure. Words are not pure. Because in this material world, lot of impurity is there in Kali Yuga. You feel the desperateness to go out of this material world. The Kali Yuga situation will make a conditioned soul so desperate that I have to leave this world and go to the spiritual world. No, I can't do it anymore. But in the previous Yugas, people are not so desperate. Their bodies are strong. Kali Yuga people, bodies are very weak. 2 hours if they sit, backache. Right? I have backache, nadu nipple. Right? And if they just travel for 2 hours, headache, tal nippi. Right? So if they are exposed to little cold, they have cold. So people's bodies are weak, minds are weak. They cannot concentrate properly. Intelligence is very weak. Even if you explain 10 times, they can't understand a small concept also. So in the spiritual world, in the material world, especially in Kali Yuga, body is weak, mind is weak, intelligence is weak, interactions are weak, honesty is less, gratitude is less, memory is less. Phone memories are more. Human memories are less. Right? 256 GB, 512 GB phones. क्या करेंगे इतना मैं hard disk लेके we are just moving around with hard disk in the pocket. I used to feel like that. Earlier, 10 years back when we take Nokia phones, there is 64 MB memory in it. Somebody said 64 MB in a phone? The phones cannot have so much memory. I said yes, I have 64 MB memory. Now 64 GB, 256 GB memory in a phone. So many phones, videos. But people's intelligence is getting reduced. Mind control is less. Sense control is less. People, out of their sensual desires, they are doing all abominable, unethical activities because they are unable to control their minds. They are entering very, very unsafe zones. Right? Even young people also. We're very concerned when young people are getting addicted to drinking, smoking, unnecessary relationships, getting so much distracted. Earlier, we used to have in DD every Sunday 4 p.m. there is one Telugu movie in the DD channel, and after that CT cable used to come. But now cable TV is there in the pocket, close to the heart. Right? Whichever movie you want from whichever country, just YouTube. Right? So much distraction. But in the previous yugas, not much distraction. Climate is not polluted. Outside people are very honest in their dealings. So the world externally resembles like spiritual world. People have long lifespan. They will still live for 1,000 years, 10,000 years, 1 lakh years. So these people of previous yugas, Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, they don't feel the desperation to leave this material world. They're comfortable there. Their health is good. But in Kali Yuga, people are so desperate. 100 years max. That too, by 60, 70 only, people are getting retired and they are unable to do much. And initial 10, 20 years will go in some simple things, in a sense that they can't do so much, right? In the initial 10 years or whatever, that goes in one innocence. But actual productive years of a Kali Yuga human life is hardly 10, 20 years, right? So in that, how much spiritual realization can they achieve? Just better stick to chanting the holy names of Krishna. Very easy path. That's all you can do in this world, in this Kali Yuga, with these human bodies, with hundreds of responsibilities and distractions around us. All we can do is utilize the 10, 20 years of the human life, effective, productive years of human life to chant Hare Krishna. Previous Yuga people, they are not so desperate. Now we are desperate. Anyone still want to continue in this material world here? Anyone here? No? You are excited? This world is a nice place. Hyderabad is a wonderful city. So we are excited with the movies and buildings here and metros and all this. A lot of comforts. I can stay here eternally. Next 10,000 years I can live in Hyderabad. Anyone here? 10,000 years plan? If you are given long lifespan, you can choose to live for 10,000 years. Would you like to be in the material world? Or if you are given opportunity, go to Vaikuntha. Anyone ready here? So Kali Yuga gives that opportunity to be desperate. In such a short lifetime, we can go to Vaikuntha just by chanting Hare Krishna. Why not utilize that opportunity? Let's utilize it. Let's not waste the opportunity in this human life. So, with this, and that chanting of Hare Krishna and constantly being in connection with Krishna will keep us safe from this contamination in this material world. Okay, thank you. I think I spoke a lot. It's 11:50, right? Yes. Okay. Thank you very much. Any questions, comments, objections?
realizations, reflections.
Yeah, please, Prabhu, you can ask. I think it's audible. You can ask.
Hare Krishna mantra, like who first has given this Hare Krishna mantra?
Who has given this Hare Krishna mantra for the first time and to whom?
It's there in the scriptures, definitely, directly there in the scriptures. However, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu popularized this process because he is the incarnation of this Kali Yuga. He is Yuga Avatar. He is incarnation. Every Yuga, the Lord descends in some form and establishes Yuga Dharma. So in Kali Yuga, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came some 5 centuries back and he established the Yuga Dharma of chanting the holy names of the Lord, and he popularized it. He gave to everybody of his time. He inspired everyone to chant. Any other question?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for this wonderful class. So my question is related to the chanting only. So starting we have this, like today in the today's class, definitely after this, I will have the excitement. Okay, let me do the chants today, right? Tomorrow also I'll do with the same enthusiasm, and then maybe day after tomorrow. But eventually, this will come down, right?
Graph will go down.
Yeah. So I mean, what do you suggest here? Like, how do we just keep continuing on it with the same enthusiasm, or with the more enthusiasm every day? Right? I think the graph should go up rather than going down.
Yeah.
Every day we should think, okay, let me serve it better than that I served
Yes.
yesterday.
When you see the trailer of a movie, generally speaking, in that 1 or 2 minutes trailer, the most exciting aspects of the trailer are shown. You get excited, I want to see the movie. Very good, very good. They're showing only 1 minute. But the 3 hours movie may not be so exciting. Every moment may not be so exciting. Right? Similarly, in the initial days of our bhakti, we are more eager, we are more enthusiastic, we are more excited, we are more absorbed in anything we do, whether it is Mangalarti or Tulsi Arati or chanting Hare Krishna, reading a scripture or hearing a class or participating in a festival or going to a dham for yatra. We are very eager and enthusiastic. But after a few years of practice, it will just go down. Enthusiasm may go down. The reason is that we have been enthusiastic in the beginning days because of the newness of the experience, because of the freshness of the experience. Everything is new to us, we are excited with everything. But now that we have spent enough time with it, that newness is gone, freshness is gone, adventurous spirit is gone. Now we are in maintenance mode. Just like you take a phone, new phone, people will not remove the upper wrapper also they will not remove for 10 years. If it's coming down coming like this, they say, hey, okay. Then they'll put in the pocket. Right? There's a lot of excitement. But after some time, so they can do like that also because it has become old. So, but one thing is, we cannot imagine ourselves to be pure devotees or great devotees or Shuddha Bhaktas just because we have been enthusiastic at one point in the beginning stages of bhakti. That is trailer. And in the maintenance phase, how much eagerness we have, how much enthusiasm we have, how much consistently are we practicing bhakti, that is a litmus test for our sincerity in practice, right? So how to maintain that eagerness? It will go down. Initial stage it is up and it will go down. But here you need to consistently go and then slowly go up. So how do we ensure that? We need to associate with devotees who have that sincerity, who have been practicing for a long time. We may be practicing for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, but they are there for 10 years, for 15 years, 20 years around. So they are seniors, right? They have more realizations. How did they manage to maintain their enthusiasm for 20 years? Let me be with them. In 2 years, my enthusiasm is going down, but 20 years they are doing well. So let me go and associate with them. So their enthusiasm is contagious. Their commitment to the process is contagious, right? So you may not develop so much of ecstasy in the beginning stages of bhakti, but all we need to exhibit in the sadhana stage is consistency. Let's consistently practice. Even if you are not enthusiastic or happy or excited to chant, just chant 16 rounds. Your commitment to the number at least, that will invoke presence, invoke mercy of Krishna, and he will bestow that eagerness in you and taste in you. Oh, this devotee, even though this devotee does not have sufficient taste, he is committed to chant. Generally, many people, when they don't have taste, when they're not finding it very tasty, they will give it up. But although he has no taste for chanting, he is still continuing chanting. Commitment, at least intellectual conviction is there. This is good for me. That understanding is there. With that understanding, you are continuing. So Krishna will one day give you taste also, eagerness and absorption also. So at sadhaka stage, we cannot expect so much of bhava or emotions or excitement or enthusiasm in us, but commitment is required. That commitment will eventually bring you taste. Makes sense?
Yes, so thank you.
I have a connecting question with this.
Yeah.
Like we follow we start practicing and get into the commitment of doing it every day. But slowly what happens, we go into the auto mode, means start chanting and other thoughts start coming to our mind. So it is not complete focus on chanting, but just doing as auto mode and other thoughts are coming.
Little mechanical.
So how to prevent?
Yeah, we need to see that is my chanting at least 1% or 0.1% better than yesterday's chanting? Aspire for that little incremental absorption only. We can't immediately expect, okay, yesterday we spaced out chanting and today is absorbed. Nayanam Galadhashradharaya. I am getting tears of ecstasy while chanting. We cannot immediately get it. We cannot get bhava. Pulakair nichitam vapuh kada. Hairs may not stand in an end. And second day, you may not get goosebumps immediately. But is my chanting little better than 0.1% better than yesterday? Or is this week's chanting little better than the last week's chanting? So you keep a diary if required. And then they just keep writing down, noting down. So basically, just aspire for incremental absorption, aspire for little improvement in your absorption. We cannot aspire for like complete transformation in a short amount of time, because the kind of contamination we have been carrying since several millions of lifetimes is so much that contamination is not allowing us to relish the holy name at this moment. But when I consistently practice and then, okay, although it is mechanical, fine. Is it little less mechanical than yesterday? Although it is in auto mode, is it in less auto mode and little more spontaneous mode than yesterday or than last week, than last month? That much we should aspire for.
Sometimes like we change the tone to get attention back to the chanting.
Yeah.
So while doing sometime high volume, low volume, or changing the tone.
Correct. And being with devotees will definitely help. You chant with another devotee who has little better absorption than you. That will work wonders. If I need to go somewhere and I don't know the way to go there, I need to ask somebody who knows the way. Similarly, if I want to reach this stage of bhakti, I am not yet there, I am here. So go and ask somebody or be with somebody who is already at that stage. Oh, his chanting is better than mine. He's not getting up in every one round. At least he is chanting 10 rounds, then he is stretching. So there, at least he is able to sit at one place and focus on chanting for 10 rounds continuously or 16 rounds continuously. Little better than me. So let me associate with them. Thank you. Yes, last question.
We say Hare Krishna, right? So I have heard that Draupadi or Panchali is also name is also Krishna. So
Arjuna's name is also Krishna.
So we say Hare Krishna, right? So basically, for whom we are calling, Krishna or Krishna?
Good
We
question.
are calling for Draupadi or
There is Ram there. In Hare Krishna mantra there is Ram also. Which Ram are you calling? Lord Ramachandra or Krishna, who has another name as Ram, or Balaram, or Parshuram, or Ram who is your neighbor, or Ram who is your son, Ram who is some friend. The Lord sees the intention. He sees bhava, bhavagrahi janardana. Now when we are saying Hare Krishna, if you are indicating Krishna, Krishna will respond. But are you meditating on Draupadi when you are chanting Hare Krishna? Then how will Draupadi respond? You can even call her also. She is a pure Vaishnavi. You can definitely pray to Draupadi. Please give me some more. When Dushyasana is troubling you, you chanted Govinda, Krishna, Vrindavanath, please come and protect me, with so much of desperation, so much of absorption, so much of anxiety. So please bestow upon me also that prayerful attitude, that absorption. So we can always pray to great Vaishnavas like Draupadi or Kunti or Prahalad Maharaj or Dhruva Maharaj or Yudhishthira Maharaj. You can always do that. But when you're chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, whom are you addressing? If you're addressing Krishna, Krishna will respond. No doubt. Yes, Madhu.
Prabhuji, there's one question which I would like to ask on behalf of everybody. We have got this question very often. So, what happens, like you said, that with the holy name chanting and everything, there is purification of heart and purification of desires. Automatically, that leads to little lowering of the material desires. While the family members are actually, you're in a family, and others assume that you are going towards sannyas or what, sannyas vai potava, itlanti questions vastunnai. So, how can we show that actually Krishna has told Arjuna to be a householder and remain a good householder? So, we want to show that actually Bhakti is a process where you can be a better householder, you can be a better at every responsibility that you do, but everybody does not need to become a sannyasi. So, how can we give that assurance to people that no, people are...
No, we will not become sannyasis. We'll be at home, but we'll chant.
Yeah, how we are a better householder than before. Actually, how this Bhakti has actually improved this one, and it's not something to be feared. That's what little few words on that.
Thank you. Good question. Actually, when I was in college, I began chanting Hare Krishna. Some of my family members literally said it, will you become a sannyasi? Will you wear saffron?
I also got this question. Everybody gets, most of us get.
Yeah. And somehow I made their words true, but everybody need not make the words true. I said, you doubted, you predicted, what can I do? My mother said, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu married twice. You marry once at least. I said he married twice at the age of 24. At the age of 24, he took sannyas. Now I am already 24. Let me take sannyas. You have not done my marriage, that's your problem. Your mistake. Anyways, coming to your question. These 4 ashramas, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi, they are ultimately a effective way of leading a human life. Ultimately speaking, they are not necessarily spiritual. We call them spiritual orders, but it's like a general culture. Varna, ashrama, they're general culture, right? Only when you worship Lord Hari while being in that ashram, sannyas ashram or grihastha ashram or brahmacharya ashram, then it can be called ashram. Otherwise, it's not ashram. It's just an arrangement made for one's human life or human society. Like Bhagavatam says, Ataha pumbhirdvija sreshta varnashrama vibhagashaha swanushtitasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Right? So, the essence of all these varnas are ashramas, brahmacharya ashram, sannyasa ashram, grihastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram, is samsiddhir haritoshanam, to give pleasure to or satisfaction to Lord Hari. When that is not being achieved, just by being merely as a brahmachari or merely as a grihastha will take us nowhere. At the max, we can live a nice human life, but not necessarily enter Vaikuntha, unless that samsiddhir haritoshanam is there. In fact, when that samsiddhir haritoshanam is not there, it can be even shramayeva hi kevalam also. What is that shloka? Shramayeva hi kevalam. It begins in... Okay, anyways, let me not focus on the shloka, but the essence is, just by following the rules and regulations of Varna ashram, without bhakti, is Shramayeva hi kevalam. Bhagavatam says, Dharma swanushtitaha pumsa vishvashkshena kathasvayaha na utpadayed yadiritam Shramayeva hi kevalam. If rati towards Krishna katha or attraction towards Krishna bhakti is not invoked, just merely following the protocols and policies of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Sudra, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasi is Shramayeva hi kevalam. It's just a endeavor, hard labor. Right? So, coming to your question, being in an ashram is not as important as being in bhakti. Ashram is chosen according to one's temperament, one's inclination, one's comfort, one's compatibility. Just like you go to some cloth showroom, they show some color cloth. It may suit your body color, then you take it. If it doesn't suit you, you may reject it. Or the size, 36 or 46 or whatever, big shirt or big trouser they showed. If it suits you, you take it. Otherwise, you reject it. So similarly, ashram also, like brahmacharya ashram, grihastha ashram, that is taken as per one's compatibility, one's inclinations, one's taste. But whichever ashram you are in, what you need to do is bhakti only. Grihastha is also ashram. Just as brahmachari is ashram, sannyasi is ashram, grihastha is also ashram. What is ashram? By definition, ashram means a place where spiritual culture is followed. A place where Shravanam, Kirtanam, Smaranam and Bhakti processes are being observed and followed sincerely. That is called ashram. If you see the universal history, number of sannyasis or brahmacharis are very limited. Read entire Bhagavatam, you will find one brahmachari and Ardhaman. Maybe few others are there, I am not recollecting the names. But if you want me to give names of grihasthas, Parikshit Maharaj, Ambrish Maharaj, Privarta Maharaj, Uttanpad Maharaj, Swayambhu Manu, Bharat Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj. Like that, there are hundreds of devotees who are Maharajas, not just simple householders taking care of one family. They are taking care of entire empires and kingdoms. So Grihastha Vaishnavas are majority in this society since time immemorial and for the rest of eternity, and brahmacharis or sannyasis are a minority. They will continue to be minority for the rest of eternity. Right? So it's not necessary that to reach Krishna one has to become a brahmachari or sannyasi. It's not necessary. Let me tell you one more deeper secret. Actually, this brahmacharya ashram, sannyasa ashram are not so natural for the soul. They are practical for the conditioned soul to practice bhakti according to one's temperament, but they are not natural for the soul. In the sense that you go to spiritual world, tell me who is a sannyasi there. In Goloka Vrindavan, tell me who is a sannyasi, who is a brahmachari. Everybody is a family member. Go to Vaikuntha. Are there any sannyasis and brahmacharis moving around in saffron cloth and shaved heads? Everybody is a family member. Everybody has their own wife and then their own family entourage. Goloka Vrindavan or Vaikuntha, whichever spiritual world. So we are all, technically speaking, we are all members of Krishna's family. So being a family man or a family woman or a family member is natural for a soul. But in the material world, the souls are in materialistic families. But in the material world, those souls are prioritizing to do some spiritual activities by being in the families, are spiritualizing their family life and going to spiritual family. Getting it? All together. Forever. Together. Whatever service you are doing to your family members is Vaishnava Seva. Right? So don't think that family is Maya. Let's not think that we are living in family, wife, husband, children, mother, father, brother, sister. This is all Maya. No, they are all Vaishnavas. Whatever service you do to them is Vaishnava Seva. If you have that perspective. So, Grihastha Vaishnavas are majority since time immemorial and they will continue to be so for rest of eternity. The Sannyas and Brahmachari, there are few people who are completely dedicated to only studying scriptures and then enlightening people, preaching people, but most people are like this only. Right? And ultimately, spiritually speaking, in the spiritual world, not many sannyasis and brahmacharis are moving around. Mostly family, all of them are family members of Krishna's family. Right? We are all aspiring to become parts of Krishna's family. So, as a part of preaching in this material world, some people exclusively focus on that preaching part. So, they become brahmacharis and sannyasis if they have the bandwidth to do so, if they have the taste to do so. If their personality has a compatibility with the protocols and policies of the ashram, they will become like that. But family life is more natural for a spirit soul because they are all members of Krishna's family. So no need to fear that they will become sannyasis. And even if they become sannyasis, how long they will be sannyasis? One life. That's all. Then they will be part of Krishna's family. And even while being sannyasi, they are part of a bigger family. A devotee doesn't leave family and become brahmachari or sannyasi to leave family, but to consider the entire world as their family. I told my mother when I was going to America, she said, oh, who will take care of you? You are going somewhere else. Can't you preach in local India only and all that? I said, I have my mothers in every country, don't worry. Right? There are family members in every country. For a brahmacharya sannyasi, every woman is a mother. For a family man, except one's wife, others are mothers. But for brahmacharya sannyasi, every woman is a mother. So they'll take care, you don't worry about it. So point is that being a brahmacharya sannyasi is not wrong. And no need to fear if one actually becomes like that. And if somebody is showing more devotional inclinations, don't attribute brahmacharya or sannyasa on them. Okay? Brahmacharya is celibacy. Brahmacharya means celibacy. No undue attraction to the opposite gender. That is brahmacharya. Sannyasa means renunciation. No attachment to material comforts. This everybody should be brahmachari. Everybody should be sannyasi in that sense. The spirit of renunciation everybody should have, even if they are family members. And celibacy everybody should observe beyond certain need for procreation. Celibacy everybody should observe even in family life. That brahmachari and sannyasi principles are common for all in one sense. Right? Makes sense. I hope I'm not disturbing by speaking some deeper things. Anyways, I'll conclude here. Does it answer your question already? Not last. I think we should stop now. Okay, Mataji.
My question is related to what just Deepa Mataji asked. First of all, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Being associated with devotees, the good part that happens is I'm looking more forward to such associations where I'm learning to know many more things about it. But what comes along with it is I don't feel going to the gatherings or being part of a friend circle or social network where the conversations are totally opposite of what happens here.
Correct.
Now, for someone whom I've known for 20-25 years, who were there with me as my well-wishers and friends through my thick and thin for so long, now what happens is sometimes I'm like, I can't contribute to that conversation anymore because it is something that I don't believe in, and I'm not living that in my real life. In some way, I feel, am I being very selfish where I'm only thinking about my happiness, my peace, where it belongs to being part of such association and not being part of those social gatherings. I'm hurting someone whom I've known for so long, who were there during my difficult times. So am I being selfish? Am I not hurting them? I can't even say intentionally or unintentionally because I'm aware that I'm not willing to be a part of that social circle, because even if I do, I'm forcing myself under obligation because they were there with me during my thick and thin times. Even if I'm there forcibly, I'm not myself. I have to just laugh on certain occasions. Okay, they just crack the joke, I have to forcibly laugh. No, I'm not happy with it. Then again, a question to myself, why am I doing it when I'm not real A, and that is not giving me any happiness? 3, there's nothing for me to learn or contribute.
Yes.
How do I deal with this?
Yeah. Now, as an adult, experienced individual in the society, he has expressed this problem in a very eloquent way, very nice, elaborate. But I see this problem more in children, teens. They are living two lives. One child actually said, one teenage boy actually said, we are living two lives, Prabhu. In college, in schools, we have to be with people. They want to go to restaurants, they want to do this, they want to do that, and we are dependent on them. That is their social circle. And when we come home, we have to live a Krishna conscious life where Kanti Mala, this and that. There we have to hide Kanti Mala. Here we have to put tilak. There we have to hide tilak. There they eat onion garlic, and if we say no, they have a different look. They will look at us in a different way, as if we are aliens. We have come from a different planet. Or sometimes devotees who are practicing Krishna consciousness will even say that others are fallen. Or you're eating onion garlic. And that creates another kind of conflict between them. So this is problem for devotees, whether they're adults or teens or kids. This is a common problem across the globe. In multiple countries I have seen, multiple cities I have seen. But coming back to your specific question, in a situation of a devotee like you, when they have helped us, we are grateful to them. we need not compromise on that gratitude. At the same time, when they're having some materialistic conversations, we definitely cannot take part in them because we know that's waste of time. You know you are wasting time. You also are convinced that they are wasting their time by doing that gossip and materialist. They may talk about a movie for 2 hours. They'll watch for 2 hours. They will talk for 2 days, right? And they expect you to participate, right? And if you don't contribute, then you feel little alienated, and they feel that you have become like this. And we want to avoid the social functions and social gatherings. But if we avoid, then there's a disconnect. So one possible solution that I can present is make it clear to them. I'm following a spiritual path, and I prefer to spend my time and energy in spiritual ways as much as possible. I will do the needful to earn my livelihood. I will interact with people in the mainstream world as much as it is required to earn that livelihood, right? And I'm thankful to them, I'm grateful to them, whoever has helped me in my life. But I have a priority. And if they really love you, they respect your values. If they feel that we have helped you, it's your responsibility to watch a movie with us. Because we helped you in that way, now you please come to this whatever party with us or do this with us, do that with us. Then it's like force. You said there's a sense of obligation there. Yeah, you're obliged in a different way. I will help you when you are stuck in a different way. You helped me the way you can. I will help you the way I can. The way you helped me is a certain style. The way I will help you also will be a certain style because I am a different individual. So at one point we need to make it clear to them, whether it is family members or distant relatives or friends or colleagues or college mates or anybody. So we may have to make it clear to them, and maybe in an adult's case, it's much easier than a kid, than a teen. For them, it's a bigger struggle, but for adults, it's a little easier. And also, you have a replacement. You have other devotees with you, and you are also very experienced, like passed some years and you are a little seasoned. You can digest it. But sometimes the younger generation is unable to digest it. They are saying, okay, I think this bhakti is separating me from my friends.
And they are made fun of also. They are made fun of.
Yeah.
They are separated. They are like, you cannot be a friend anymore. The
Yeah.
child feels helpless and like this.
Because the
is
child
not
is immature, not so experienced. Their friends are also immature, not so experienced. What happens between you is more complicated than an adult. So you're in a better situation in one sense. I appreciate that. You have good friends amongst them. But one day we have to make it clear to them. When, how, you can decide. But one day we have to make it clear. Otherwise, that obligation will be there till the fag end of life. Be nice to them. You don't have to hate them. If they are not ready to accept the path, there are some devotees who have inspired their materialistic friends to take to the path. That's amazing. But some devotees could not manage to do that because others are not receptive. But these devotees who are mature, they are nice to them. They are friendly to them. I'll stick to my rules, my principles. I can't come to parties with you. I can't eat onion garlic food. I can't do that. When there is a function in your thing, I will give a bouquet. I'll give some blessings. I will give some Mahaprasad. I will call you. I will wish you. But don't expect me to stay there for 3 hours and participate in conversations. Make it clear to them, but without hurting them. If they are getting hurt just because you are not doing what they expect you to do, they are not your real friends, even on a material plane. They should respect your sentiments. For that, you need to respect them for whatever they are, whatever good they have. If we treat them as fallen souls, they will treat us as deviants. But if we treat them for whatever good they are, if they're receptive, give Krishna consciousness. If they're not receptive, be nice to them, that's all. But you make it clear, I can't follow everything that you're following. Thank you very much. I'll conclude here.
Hare Krishna. Hope everyone had a good association. Am I right? Somehow I'm not able to hear this. If you want Prabhuji once again in our Zenith congregation whenever he comes back in Hyderabad, so if you want him back, then please chant 3 enthusiastic and loud. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. But just wanted to let you know, Prabhuji, there are a couple of devotees when some few devotees are there in this congregation who have been